I.S.U.P.K.
As I'm sure you're familiar with, the new adjustment that has been made to the school curriculum in Florida about them making it mandatory that children must be taught it was beneficial for slaves to be slaves. Yeah. Do you think that's true?
No, it's not.
Right.
No, it's not.
Right. Now,
And that curriculum they say is going to start this year, but a lot of teachers are opting out. They're not going to do it.
right. Yeah, and they're being threatened to lose their job, correct?
They don't know
If they don't teach it.
They don't know what's going on because they don't have any monitors going in and out of the class. I'm a teacher.
Yeah.
They don't have monitors going in and out of the classroom.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
you do if you do, you don't if you don't.
Right. Now, my next question for you is going to be, clearly I disagree with this.
Mm-hmm.
We all disagree with this. Is there anything that you could think of that would prompt them to think that slaves actually benefited from slavery?
No, there
Not
isn't
in your
anything.
own mind, but what do you think is coming out of their mind to
They're
make them
saying
say
the
that?
trades, we learn trades, we learn everything that we're doing now, we learn by being a slave.
Right.
That's their mentality.
Exactly.
But it's not there, it's Governor DeSantis' mentality. And he's branching all this information out to his constituents,
Right.
allowing this to be embedded in their heads, and they're going with it. That's all it is.
Well, for me, I would have to say, for one, you can never understand what is going on in a person's mind. So let's clarify that.
No, but he's the one that's
But no,
the
I'm saying
lead.
for me.
Okay, but he's the leader.
I'm saying for me.
This they come
You
from nobody
can-
but him.
You cannot
But him.
think what's coming out of anyone's mind. So let's clarify that. I cannot say, and I can't speak on his behalf of what's coming out of his mind. I can't give an opinion of what's coming out of his mind. But what I can say is we have to do our due diligence in paying attention to what is going on. Because clearly this man is in a position that he got into through votes. And we do things and we tend to act in a way that will continue to keep us in a position that we want to be in. So if he is doing this, this clearly is speaking that he's speaking on a great majority of people who helped him get in to continue playing out what they want to see. And we have to go back to researching and following up on things that this was a master plan. People don't do stuff, and especially in Florida, they do things 30, 40, 50 years out. So this is happening now, but we have to remember all this stuff was being planned years ago. This is not something that just popped up overnight because he's in office now. It's happening, but this stuff was planned years ago.
By
We
who,
just
though?
got some.
By who?
It's a group of people. We just got somebody that said, okay, we will do it for you. Then not only that, he's not the only one in Florida. We have Trump in Florida too. What you have to understand is DeSantis was groomed by Trump.
But
He
Trump's
was in
mentality is not like DeSantis.
He
They're different.
I understand that, but what you have to understand, you have to still follow and read.
I do
Trump
read and
helped
follow.
him get into
He
office.
did. But there's two different concepts.
But yes, because now DeSantis is running for presidency, I have to create competition.
Yeah,
You
no,
have-
but I know he's creating competition.
Yeah.
But the mentality, like me and you, we two people, you gotta.
But that's what I'm saying. The mentality is
projection,
coming.
and I do too.
Yeah, but that
but their
mentality.
concept is completely different.
But that
you can have two
mentality-
presidents, Biden and Obama, but both of their concepts are different.
But if I'm coming from the same
You see what I'm
place, I
saying?
have to be different
So,
from you. If I'm
they're
coming, if
different.
I'm running, if our ideology is the same, I have to set myself apart from you though. So how am I going to do that? You understand? And that's what I'm saying.
Okay, but
He's
not
running for
to-
president against Trump.
Sis, I fully understand what you're saying when it says it started from somewhere. Like years ago in Texas, they made it their school curriculum to, you can't even, their books don't even say slaves. It says indentured servitude.
But that was another thing he was trying to change too.
But that's what the lady said this
That was
morning in
another
Tennessee.
thing.
She says what's happening in Florida is happening in Tennessee also.
Yeah.
That's what she said this morning in our little
He
class.
doesn't even want us to say
that I didn't
slaves
even know.
and certain things. He wants us to change that name. But that's why I'm saying pay attention, because if it's happening in Florida, it's going to start spreading through. This stuff was already planned. Remember a long time ago when they were talking about the New World Order, and all this stuff? You got to think about, and everybody was trying to research, what is the New World Order? What is the New World Order? Pay attention to this. A lot of things are starting to come out in the Army, how they're releasing secret information. Some of these soldiers that are even Caucasian are leaking information.
Remember the little boy that got caught? He leaked information.
It's
and they wanted to know how did he get from where he was all the way up to the White House to leak this information.
I appreciate y'all. Y'all some very intelligent sisters, and I do value your input. So, but I just want to stay on a topic here, right? So, what do you think is the resolve for this? What do you
What we're doing?
As
We're
a
the
resolve?
NAACP. That's National Association for the Advancement of Colored People. That's the convention we're up here for.
So what is the NAACP resolve?
We work to work for human rights, as far as religion. Oh my God, look at broken now. Religion,
civil rights,
freedom, housing, any kind of discrepancy that opposes our freedom rights. Okay, that's what we're up here for. That's the convention we're here for now. And what we're doing is trying to put things in place. Okay, put resolutions and stuff in place to combat all of that. That's what we're trying to do right now. Okay, but it doesn't take one person. It doesn't take one time coming to Boston one time. It takes months and months and months to gather this information and put together and take it to the Supreme Court, because they're the only ones that can overturn all this stuff. We can't do it locally. We can't go confront DeSantis. Okay, we have to go to a higher court. It's like our president says, she wake up ready to go to court. We have to take this to court.
Now, with that being said, maybe that would cause a temporary change, but do you think that that's a permanent solution to this problem?
The only permanent solution is to get more people to come out and fight.
And vote.
That's
now,
and vote.
Now you said that
because had they voted,
how long have black people been voting?
Okay, well in 2020 it was the masses. 2023, the masses defaced. There was no more masses after 2020.
But see,
we have 15% in Florida to vote.
But see, this is the question. No one can go in to see what people are voting. And if you go in to vote and you don't know what you're voting for, you're just going to say A, Y, B, and Z, any, many, miny, mo.
But when you have these forums, I had a forum. Okay, I had a forum. I educated.
We got to educate.
I had a forum. I had all the different politicians there. I told the people to come in, listen to what they had to say, ask questions. I had the forum. But we don't want to go to these things.
And that's the problem.
We want to go where we want to go instead of informative stuff that's going to teach us and gather information so we can know what to do, how to do, and when to do it. They didn't do that.
And I just want to say, it's not only a color thing in that, because that's a distraction. The thing is, we have to get people, period, to come to these forums, like she's saying, to understand what is on that ballot.
But you got to first get them to come.
Yes.
We went on the radio station, the TV station,
and
they didn't come.
I'm not trying to knock. I do think that that's beneficial in bringing awareness to the situation, right? But what I'm more so honing in on is, once again, the permanent solution.
The permanent is the laws. It's like it's
permanent
solution. They changed
and
roles.
like I said,
the
black
permanent
people
solution
have
is the law.
been voting for how many years?
But again,
and what have we accomplished by voting? And you said, hold on, if I could, and y'all said that basically you can't even determine if the vote is accurate, right?
No,
I didn't say
no. I said how you said that we've been voting for a very long time, but I'm saying the problem is you cannot go in with the person and see what they're voting, what they're choosing when they're voting. You understand what I'm saying? And that's what I'm saying to you. When you go in and you choose to vote, a lot of people going in, they mind go blank once they see this long scale of things, and they're trying to figure out what is on there. They're not educated, so they're just
even though you give them a paper.
Listen, and this was a study done in Florida. When you're reading stuff that's on a ballot, the verbiage confuses you. And then you become unclear of what you read and from what you read before, especially if you're not knee deep in to understand.
And they take the paper, we give them papers,
you understand?
And they have the paper right there with them.
Exactly.
But it's different from the ballot.
understand the verbiage. Then
different from the ballot.
you're feeling anxiety because you got to hurry up and vote. You got to hurry up and vote. You don't want to be in there too long. You don't have enough of time. You understand? So what I'm saying is, if we could get more people to come out to these forums, get educated to these things of what they're saying, then it would help us. Because the thing is, we're going in and we're voting. Yes, I understand that. But are we understanding? That is the thing.
Okay,
that is the thing. And I don't think that that's what we're doing. And then when we read it, the verbiage and the language is another thing too.
Yeah, so now this is the last thing I'll say to you, right?
Okay.
So now tell me if you disagree with this. But don't you think a better solution for us would be to, instead of fighting for rights from our slave masters and trying to get him to change his mind as to what he believes we should have and the things he believes that we should learn in school, don't you think a more permanent and better solution would be for us as Black and Hispanic people, Native Indians, Haitians and Jamaicans, West Indians, all alike, to separate from white society and establish our own?
Now, I will say this, and I'm going to leave it like this. I work with a lot of elderly people in the community. And the thing they always tell me is they wish they never integrated. That was the worst thing that they could have ever done, because they never visioned it would be that way. And I'm going to leave it like that. And you ponder against that. And I'm coming from the state of Florida, just like Boston, where a lot of history is coming from.
Sister, I know
a lot of the elderly, and I'm talking about 90 years old, that have been through slavery, that have been through all of what we have not seen, said
And
they
we right
wish
here in front of
if they would have known, if they would have
the
known,
Martin Luther King statue?
if they would have known what they know now, they wish they would have never integrated.
That's heavy. And look at this here, right in front of the Martin Luther King statue. And what the sister said is heavy. But once again, in the UPK, we've always known this. Martin Luther King Jr. said himself that I fear that I have walked my people into a burning house, referring to integration.
Nobody tell you cry. You know why? Because I never saw you before. But you are a black man like me. And it's worth something.
My whole life was trying to find something to follow. Had loyalty, every man tried to borrow. Felt pain and a lot of sorrow. Got betrayed, so packed, I didn't even have my heart broke. Living confused, about to lose hope. Cops got me on the side of the road like a sideshow. Need an antidote before I croak. Now I'm setting fire to rhythm man blues, call this guitar smoke. Rebel with no cause, trying to find direction. The world got me vexed. Picked up a bad liquor habit that's hereditary from oppression. Felt like my life was on fire, trying to find an exit. Now look, 10 G's plus a good wreck. Sometimes a follower is a soldier, trying to find a good shepherd. Plus when you in hell, how do you excel? Wisdom the breath of life, I don't believe in fairy tale. Listen well to what I tell. No calling can cause pain. Something that a rebel knows very well. Can't you tell I was sent from the Lord? Got a tongue like a two-edged sword.